So in this video, we're going to take a look at creating custom audiences. So custom audiences are warm audiences. So basically people who have interacted with your business in the past. They may have been on your website, been on your mailing list, a variety of different ways, and we'll take a look at those. So to do that, we're in Ads Manager, and then we just click on audiences over here. And this is a demo account, so yours might look a little bit different in here. So we're going to click on create a custom audience. Later on, we'll take a look at saved audiences and lookalike audiences. Will we create a custom audience? So again, the different sources that you might have might be your website, a customer list, some sort of offline activity, and you have the GDPR approval to actually use their details and upload them. And again, all of these need to be GDPR compliant. And here are the different meta sources and videos and leads and instant experience Instagram accounts. So all of these you can use as a warm audience. So let's take a look at an example. So let's take a look at one of the ones from the Your Sources. So for example, this is anything outside of Meta. So we're going to take a look at people who have been to your website. So we're going to choose that and click on Next. Now, you must have a pixel on your website. If you don't have a pixel on your website, then you need to make sure that that is already set up for you. Now, this is just a demo account, so there is no pixel set up, but that would normally be set up correctly. So in here, what are we looking for? For example, all websites visitors, so anybody, or and usually keep it fairly broad, and often that will convert nicely for you. But maybe you're somebody who does corporate events, and you also do, for example, spa visits. So you do corporates and you do spa visits. And you're thinking that they're actually two different groups. So for example, in here, you could say people who visited a specific page. Okay, and the URL contains the word spa. Okay. And that's fine. And you're going, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. And so, you could add in contains, or you could do a specific page. So for example, equals, and it might be, for example, okay. And so you can say, this is the only page that we want to actually go to. And you need to make sure it's obviously typed correctly, etc. So you can do it that way. And then you would only show one ad to people who were interested in a spa, and the corporate customers won't necessarily have been to this page. Another thing you can do is, so for example, these are people who have been to the spa, but you don't want people who have been to the spa and have already purchased, and you don't want to keep advertising to these people. So you could say exclude people, okay, and visitors who have been to a specific page and contains, for example, thank you. Spelled correctly. So this would block out anybody who had reached the thank you page. And so you're not advertising to existing customers, and that can be very useful as well. Another important thing to change in here is the audience retention period. So often in here, you could, for example, put in the last 180 days, which I think is the maximum amount of time, because often, custom audiences are extremely effective. They're a warm audience, and they're often way more effective than cold audiences. But one of the difficulties is you often don't have enough people in your custom audiences. So to get as much data as possible is a good idea. Now you're thinking, actually, somebody who put something in the cart, for example, 5 days ago, is way more likely to convert than somebody who put it in 180 days ago. But the fact is that Meta knows that. Meta knows that somebody has put it in the last 5 days, and so will target those people way before anybody who did it 180 days ago. So trust Meta and let it work that way for you. And so when you've finished putting in all the details, you can give it a name, and we're just saying how many days it was for, and you can put in description and then click on create audience. Now we can create another audience. So again, another custom audience. In here, for example, we could use customer list. So if you are using a mail list and you're using something like MailChimp, you can actually just import it directly in here, or there's a template you can upload things into as well. But it can be extremely effective, especially if you have permission to use it. Well, obviously you can only use it if you have permission to use it, but it can be an extremely useful resource to include. Another type of custom audience was people who've interacted with your Meta account. So if we create another audience here, and for example, people who've watched particular videos, and click in here, and in terms of engagement, we could say people who have watched at least 3 seconds or 10 seconds or 25% of the video. And there's all sorts of options in here that you could choose, and just go through them. I'm not going to go through them all, but again, you could target these particular types of customers.